Skinny dipping, cigarette platters, and even crowd surfing. This wasn't your average wedding. When Charli XCX tied the knot with George Daniel for the second time, the entire weekend turned into a full-blown spectacle that had the internet buzzing. Pop stars, fashion icons, and wild party antics all collided in one of the most chaotic celebrity weddings we've seen in years. But how did a simple "I do" become the talk of Hollywood? And what really went down when the cameras weren't rolling? Charli XCX didn't settle for just one wedding. Back in July, she and George Daniel quietly exchanged vows in London during a small, private ceremony with only their closest circle watching. No headlines, no chaos, just an intimate moment away from the spotlight. But Charli has never been the type to keep things low-key for long. Just 2 months later, the couple went all out in Italy, trading quiet elegance for a star-studded blowout that looked more like a festival than a wedding. This wasn't just about celebrating love twice, it was about showing two sides of Charli, the private bride and the unapologetic performer who turns every milestone into a cultural event. Charli has built her entire image on being the ultimate party girl, and she didn't leave that reputation at the altar. Instead, she leaned into it harder than ever. Her own caption from the weekend summed it up perfectly. Skinny dipping in Sicily, martinis in West London, Tom Ford for Gucci at 11 Madison. A 365 party girl meek. It wasn't just a wedding, it was a lifestyle statement. Every photo and clip from the night screamed excess, from her dancing on stage like it was a headline show to the after-hours chaos that blurred the line between reception and rave. Charli didn't just play the role of bride, she owned the night as the star of her own pop culture performance. This reception wasn't about polite toasts or slow dances. Guests were handed cigarette platters like it was a fashion show after party, and by the end of the night, half the crowd was skinny dipping under the Sicilian moon. Matty Healy, never one to blend quietly into the background, launched himself offstage into the crowd like it was a 1975 concert, while Charli kept the energy high, dancing on stage in her wedding dress. Instagram stories lit up instantly. Emily Ratajkowski posting from the pool, Jordan Firstman capturing Healy's dive, friends screaming and filming every second. What should have been a carefully curated wedding album turned into viral chaos, with clips spreading faster than the official photos ever could. If the reception felt more like a festival than a wedding, the guest list explains why. Troye Sivan showed up. Julia Fox turned heads as always, Emily Ratajkowski kept the cameras rolling, and Carolyn Palachik brought her surreal style to the dance floor. Add in Rachel Sennett, Clairo, Benito Skinner, and even It Girl Amelia de Moldenberg, and it looked less like a wedding invitation and more like the lineup for the world's most chaotic afterparty. Each guest had their own fan base ready to dissect every outfit, every TikTok, every blurry Instagram clip. Together, they created a collision of pop culture worlds. Music, fashion, film, and internet chaos all packed into one Italian villa. And of course, with a mix that unpredictable, drama was bound to happen. Amid all the chaos, Charli's wedding look was pure elegance. She wore a custom Danielle Frankel creation, a bias-cut ivory silk chiffon slip that draped effortlessly over her frame, with delicate spaghetti straps and an elongated train that caught the light with every step. The dress wasn't just minimal, it was sculpted to feel ethereal. Layers of chiffon ribbons wrapped around the bodice and cascaded down her back, finished with hand-embroidered organza petals and dripping Baroque pearls that shimmered like falling water. It was the kind of gown that belonged in a cathedral. Yet here it was on a bride who spent the night dancing on stage, sweating under disco lights, and jumping into after-hours chaos. That contrast between the delicate, almost angelic gown and the unfiltered energy of the reception is exactly what made the images go viral. The dress symbolized tradition, but Charli twisted it into her own story, using it as armor for a night that rejected every wedding cliché. Fans weren't just talking about the party, they were obsessed with how the bride pulled off looking couture while living like a rock star. Behind the spectacle, there's a softer story that brought everyone to Italy in the first place. Charli and George Daniel's relationship started in the studio, where creative sparks turned into something deeper. George, best known as the drummer of the 1975, quietly collaborated with Charli on her music long before fans realized there was more than just work happening between them. Their chemistry spilled off the stage, and by late 2023, Charli confirmed what close friends already knew: they were engaged. She first teased it in a private Instagram post before showing her ring to the world in November that year. Fast forward to July 2025, the couple sealed their vows in London in a small, intimate ceremony. That first wedding felt private, almost like a secret chapter just for them. But the Italian celebration 2 months later revealed their second side, the public, unapologetic, larger-than-life duo who wanted to throw a party as bold as their music. Together, they're not just newlyweds, they're creative partners, feeding off each other's energy in both art and life. And that's why this wedding didn't just feel like a personal milestone. It felt like the launch of a new era for Charli and George, one where their love story is part romance, part performance, and fully designed to keep fans watching. Of course, when you marry into the 1975 family, you're not just getting a husband, you're getting the band's entire chaotic orbit. George Daniel may be the steady drummer, but his bandmates, especially Maddie Healy, bring a reputation for unpredictable, headline-grabbing behavior. And true to form, Maddie didn't disappoint. In the middle of the reception, he launched himself off stage to crowd surf like it was a packed arena show, turning a wedding into a rock concert in seconds. His fiancée, Gabriette, was right there too, capturing the night's wildest moments and adding her own edgy energy to the mix. For fans, it was the perfect collision, the 1975's infamous unpredictability crashing into Charli's party girl aesthetic. The result? Clips that spread like wildfire online, fueling debates about whether this was the best wedding ever or just another reminder that Charli XCX refuses to play by the rules. Either way, the presence of the 1975 guaranteed that Charli's big day would never stay just a personal event. It became a cultural spectacle, stamped with the band's signature chaos. At the end of the day, Charli and George's wedding wasn't just a celebration, it was a statement. Most celebrity weddings try to look perfect, polished, even untouchable, but this one leaned into chaos, into imperfection, into the kind of moments people usually try to hide from the cameras. That's why it resonated so loudly online. Fans weren't just watching a love story, they were watching a cultural shift, a bride who refused to play by the rules, and a couple who turned a tradition into performance art. It blurred the line between private life and public spectacle, giving us just enough to feel like insiders while still keeping the mystery alive. And if this is how Charli XCX throws a wedding, one question lingers: how on earth will she top it when the anniversaries roll around? Charli XCX didn't just throw a wedding. She threw an event that blurred the lines between love story, music video, and full-blown pop culture performance. From the couture gown to the chaos in the pool, every moment felt like it was designed to live forever online. And maybe that's the point. Charli has always thrived on turning her life into art, and this time she had an entire guest list of icons to help her pull it off. So was it the most unforgettable wedding of the year, or just another reminder that Charli XCX refuses to play by the rules? Either way, one thing's certain, fans will be talking about this weekend for a long time.